Hey friends, Allison Hillman here. I am the Allison and BTP by Allison, Been There Photography, and this is another episode of Lady Boss Branding's 321 Blast, where I would normally be bringing you the best that St. Louis has to offer in the way of small businesses and nonprofits, but today is a little bit different. This is one of the new helper editions. Mr. Rogers always said that his mother encouraged him in the crazy times to look for the helpers and to focus on the good. And so that's what we're going to do. And I have someone that is adopted family to me, Donna Kinnaird. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So Miss Donna has been sewing like a crazy woman, making masks. And the thing that amazes me is I scroll through Facebook all the time and I love the entrepreneur spirit and I appreciate that people are selling them and helping their families in ways that they can. But you haven't charged for a single one.
No.
How many masks have you made?
I'm at about 1,200 right now, and I've got 400 more cut out to be sewn and more fabric coming. So,
and I love your process. You're in the time of pandemic. What do you call your posts every day in the time of
love in the time of contagion?
Contagion. That's it. So I read them every day. You've taken a break. So if anyone comes to my house, she is, other than the picture of Riley that I painted, your artwork is the only like original artwork I have in my house. Because if someone asked me who my favorite singer was, I would say my mom. If someone asked me who my favorite artist is, I would say Donna Kinnaird, because I love the way you do things. And you've taken a break from that. So I've had to take a break from reading your process on your paintings to now I get to read how you're loving on our world, literally. And every time someone sends a request to you, you literally write it down, you put them in the order, and then you call it I know you call it your sweatshop, but so for those at home, her husband, Danny Kinnaird, and it's so weird for me to say, I said Danny Kinnaird to my mother the other day, and she goes, "Are you allowed to call him that?" He was my eighth grade history teacher, and it's the reason that I fell in love with politics and just U.S. history in the world. And then shortly after, I did my first middle school play, and you did our costumes for that. And then I morphed into high school, and we just stayed friends. And I think I was one of the few teenagers in my class that you didn't have a problem with, because I did what I always say, I did what I was told. So
exactly.
So
you also were the most bubbliest, outgoing person I think I've ever known. And how could you not love you? So.
Oh, well. So costumes are that's where your gift of sewing comes from. But when did you actually start making the mask?
Well, I wrote day 24 of my love and contagion, in the time of contagion yesterday. So not quite a month ago.
Okay. So the thing is that governors and stuff are about to open states up, which people can argue whether that's the right decision or not. That's not what this is for. But these masks are more and more important for people like us. So tell me, how do you make them? What makes them? What is it about them that keeps people safe? Why should they consider wearing these masks when they're going out and about?
Okay, when I first started making the masks, I made them for my family, my children and their children. Dan and I are in the very vulnerable group age-wise, and I thought, we need to be protected. So I had some scraps of fat quarters here, which are used by many quilters, and I went online. As a costumer, you learn to do your research, and so I did a lot of research. I read National Institute of Health studies on masks, what are effective, what works the best. There are many studies out there, and there are things that keep popping up everywhere that says, oh, this or that or the other. I like to go with the science. So I found that 100% cotton, backed by 100% cotton, and if it's flannel, it works a little better for some reason. They don't even recommend necessarily putting a filter in the middle But the reason we wear masks, because we're not healthcare workers, is to actually keep from infecting someone else as much as it protects us. So that if we sneeze or we cough and we're sick and we don't know it, our droplets don't land on somebody else. So it is very important right now. We have a son living in New York City and Queens in the heart of this contagion. It's terrible. And we're very worried about him. They don't leave their apartment. I sent masks to him, and I sent another box for him to give to his fellow employees. He's working from home and friends because they couldn't find any anywhere. And then it was like, okay, everyone's going to need one of these. And so I have a lot of friends in my age group who have underlying health conditions, are immunosuppressed. I know a lot of people. So I just started contacting them saying, hey, how many masks do you want? I'm just going to send them to you. And from there, it exploded. And people have been so generous, and they have sent money to help with postage and supplies, and things pour in every day. And I'm not a person who cries. I'm a doer. No, we've got to get this done. We got to take care of this. I'll sleep later. I'm sitting in a chair. I'm not working hard. But I feel this is so urgently. There's such an urgency to this that I wake up a lot of nights at 4 o'clock in the morning and I can't go back to sleep. So I get up and I cut or I sew or I package so things will go out that day. And I think that as human beings, it is our mandate to be our brother's keeper, to love our neighbor. It doesn't matter who they are, what they think, what they believe, what they look like, who they love. They are all human beings in need of care. And that's the least I can do.
So the thing that I love keeping up with is how you've pivoted through all this. And I talk to small business owners about how they keep having to pivot. So, and I'm one that has sent you things because I don't
Yes, ma'am.
always have money to give you. But when I see that I'm a frugal shopper, so you couldn't find elastic. And so
No.
you started talking about pantyhose. And so I don't know why it had shown up on my feed on Amazon, but some knee high pantyhose were inexpensive. So
Yes.
I bought as many of those as I could and had them shipped your way. You are doing those loop things from the
Yeah.
looms.
I'll show you a box of them. Here. Let me get my box up. This is my box of pantyhose loops, tights, dance tights. Whoop, there they go. Which Professor Pawpaw cuts for me every day so that I can sew.
And the other day you did a call out for buttons. So I think eBay told me Friday or Saturday, you're going to have a lot of buttons that I think are the right thing that you asked for. And I know you, if they're not exactly, you'll make it work anyway. But,
this is what I'm making with those. These are mask holders that go on the back of your head, and you can put your loops over the buttons so they don't irritate your ears.
because if you have to wear them for more than a period of time, you get sores on the back of your ears.
Yeah.
So,
and these are easy to make. And you take a 3-inch piece of ribbon, 2 buttons.
I keep my mask by my keys because I take it with me everywhere I go.
I've got mine here. So you take this and you put it on the back of your head.
Yep. I love it.
And
I love it.
this is important. When you put your masks on, don't touch the front. Only your elastics. Pull it up over your nose and down over your chin. And once you go out, you're not supposed to touch it. Only these. So when you take it off, you only use the elastics. Hand washable, air dry. Do not microwave. They will incinerate.
I saw
As a
a
friend of
YouTube
mine
video.
found
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video where someone said that's how you should sterilize them, but just wash them and let them dry.
right.
I brag on you all the time. You never cease to amaze me in different journeys. I've known you now. It's now going to be 20 years this year that I've known you.
Right.
And every time that there is an opportunity for you to give and help, you were always one of the first. And we can all take a lesson from Donna Kinnaird.
Mhm.
So, I'm not going to make you cry, even though I think I just did and I didn't mean to. So,
No, it's like I said, I'm not normally a crier or a weeper, but this whole process has touched me in such a way. The goodness of people, their willingness to share, to care, and we have quickly found out that we're so dependent upon foreign goods that suddenly, when the call went forth for masks for healthcare workers, there's no elastic. Fabric is hard to come by. Buttons are ribbon. Everything like vaporized. And so I did a lot of nighttime research when I couldn't sleep. That's how I found out you could use tights to make loops with, and they worked fantastically.
a girlfriend of mine had a stockpile of fabric in her basement that she had kept because she was going to make curtains and
Hmm.
other things. And she sent them another costume maker friend. She
Right.
sent them out, and all of that fabric turned into 5,000 masks that went
That's
all across
fantastic.
St. Louis.
Right.
Because, and this isn't a fear thing. Like, I am not a fear monger. This isn't
Either.
normally. I'm not one to jump in and just go with what I'm told. But
Right.
this is a completely different animal. And maybe it's
This.
not because I'm a mother now. I don't know. But I have an essential worker husband that has to go and be
Right.
around. And how in the world his office hasn't gotten this, great. But we're going to focus on you. And I'm just so grateful for you and people like you that
Thank you.
are the helpers. And the world is a better place because you're in it. So
Oh, thank you.
we're going to lighten things up a little bit. We're going to move to the 3, 2, 1
Oh
blast
boy.
section.
I just wanted to say I do have a lot of affiliation with St. Louis. Three of our children went to Webster University
Hmm.
for 12 years. We were in St. Louis all the time. I know the city well. It's a lovely place to live. And I even thought we would end up there maybe perhaps someday, except our children ended up in Nashville. So we ended up here.
Which is my former home.
Right.
Nashville has my heart. St. Louis has my soul. That's what I
There
always
you go.
say. All right. So I do a timer for like 3 minutes. I never stick to 3 minutes, but we're going to try. All right. What
Mhm.
motivates you to work hard?
I think it's a lifetime thing. My mother was a person where you didn't have downtime. There was always something to do or be done. And I find it very hard to just sit and do nothing. I always in my mind, there's something I could be doing. It's hard to let go of.
So you're very much a family woman.
Yep.
Everyone knows you as grandma. Tell me a little bit about your family.
We have an amazing family. We were gifted with two daughters and two sons. They are all professional performers. Um, they we have six grandsons. Our oldest daughter has three sons. Our second daughter has two sons. Our third child, our first son, has a son, and our youngest son and his wife do not have children. And
And I've known Tyler for years, and he takes after his mom quite a bit. So, all right. What is your favorite drink?
coffee.
You would inject it through an IV if you could. I know that.
Yeah, probably.
Where is your happy place?
Um, Anywhere my family is.
What
I
is your
love
super?
the
Oh,
ocean. I actually, if we could all be by the ocean, that would be the happiest place in the world.
what is your superpower?
Oh. I don't know. Creating, I guess. I've been a creator since I was a little girl. 7 years old, I did my first embroidery and I was hooked, and I've been creating something ever since.
I would take it a step further and saying loving through your creation is,
Oh, thank
is
you.
what's the most daring thing you've ever done?
Oh my word in heaven. Everything I've ever done. I would get an idea in my head, and my poor husband, I would just say, "Hey, I've got an idea." And it would be like, "Okay." He has never argued, never said, "I don't think so," has supported me fully in everything I've done. I have studied floral design and management. I have had my real estate license. I went to balloon school. I know how to do balloon art. I owned a costume shop for 10 years. I worked 14, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for 10 years. If I said, "Hey, I need you to deliver this," or show me what to do. I mean, I won the jackpot when I we hooked up. That's long, long ago. That's all I can say. But I have always, maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I jump in with both feet and never look back. It's just the way I am.
I love it. All right, St. Louis round. Since you do have a piece of your heart here. What's your favorite St. Louis zoo animal?
Mm, probably the sea lions.
Okay. What is your favorite St. Louis attraction?
Mm, that's a tough one. I always love going to Forest Park. I mean, it's a beautiful place. I like the museums. There are a lot of things I like there, and the food.
When someone says St. Louis to you, what comes to mind? Like, what screams St. Louis to you?
Well, baseball. I mean, that's and Webster University, because that's where my children went in theater, and we spent a lot of time there watching shows, uh, feeding the kids from the dorms. They stayed at our house. It's a lovely place. It really is. It has a hometown feel for a big city.
It really does.
Hmm.
Thank you for joining me, and thank you for what
You're
you're
welcome.
doing to make the world a better place. Folks, this has been Donna Kinnaird. She is my first of many, I hope, helpers. If you know someone in the world that is just making it a better place, please send them to me and nominate me and tell me why, because I would love to feature them on the 321 Blast. And remember, every time a small business owner makes a sale, they do a little happy dance. So make sure you're shopping local and putting a little groove back into our world. Have a
Yes,
great day.
ma'am. Thanks.